and I'm going to go ahead and let Federico get started.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have a packed agenda as always, and I welcome you and thank you, Anne Marie, for getting us started on time. As always, if you have any questions, raise your hand in the chat box right to the right hand side top. Um, Next to the microphone, you can raise your hand or you can write your question in the chat box and we will read them. Next. Uh, First announcement. Anyone who has more information can tell us. But Anson Green sent recently information on this national conference that will be held in Houston, the IDEA project. It's going to come September 14th and 15th. It's a free conference that is part of the iBest project in Washington, D.C., and is in collaboration with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Um, they have 2 days of training for teachers and 1 day of training for administrators. It's completely free to participate. Of course, they do not cover travel if you're coming from other parts of the state. Um, but they are sharing this very exciting project, and Anson and his team um, are very interested in having us participate. I see that you may not hear me well. Let me see if I can raise the volume. Um, is it better now?
Yes, it's better now, Federico, and possibly just move the mic a little bit closer.
Well, it's much closer. I would have to eat it because it can't get much closer to me right now.
That's better. Thank you.
Okay. So anyway, next slide. Once again, and we shared this information earlier last month, but the Heart and AIM training, that is the projects that the modules based on the Focus on the Basics project, the training is available. We have everything ready for you. If you need basic math, that is the AIM modules, or reading, that's called Heart. Is a project that was developed by Region 6 Educational Service Center, uh, funded by the Texas Workforce Commission. And those modules that they developed are available for training through Train PD now. So if your programs are interested, you can request AIM or HEART training directly from us as you would any other training. You talk to your, excuse me, your professional development specialist at Train PD, and we will make it happen. It's already available, so please take advantage of the training, and we look forward to serving you that way. Next. Beth, this is yours, whatever update you have for the content standards.
Okay, thank you, Federico. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, everybody. I just wanted to take just a few minutes to kind of give our PD coordinators an update on where we are on the content standards rollout. We have had a webinar this morning with the program directors. Again, we're going to have webinars with them periodically throughout the year so that they're aware of what training was, what was covered in the training, and what the assignments are for the instructional coaches. And poor Ashley was on the call, this webinar this morning, so she could probably do these slides for us. So we're going to talk about what we've done so far and then what's coming up. And if you could, yes, thank you. So this is what's happened to date. We had the rollout meeting April 19th. Every program in the state has identified at least one instructional coach. We had an introductory webinar for those coaches on July 28th. Then last week we had our first 2-day face-to-face training. So that was on August 3rd and 4th in Austin. Then the next step will be a follow-up webinar for coaches to support them between face-to-face trainings on September 22nd. Then we have a series of 1-day regional trainings that will be going on in November. And I've got a slide to show you the dates for potential dates for those in just a moment. But we'll have another webinar for those coaches probably late October before we get back together for face-to-face training in November. Again, we'll have a manager's webinar, program director's webinar in early December after the November face-to-face trainings are completed. Again, to keep them up to date on what's going on, we'll make sure that we also keep you guys up to date on what was covered in that 1-day face-to-face training. And then our third face-to-face training will be, again, a 1-day training where we'll all be together at the Taley Conference. After that, we'll do another program director's webinar and then wrap up webinars for the coaches in April and May to support those coaches as they are working with teachers at their local programs and really implementing standards-based instruction. So these are the potential tentative dates for the November face-to-face trainings. November 1 in Houston, the 7th in Austin, the 9th Rio Grande Valley, Dallas on the 10th, Lubbock on the 14th, and El Paso on November 16th. Again, part of the reason these are tentative is we're securing locations right now, and part of this is going to depend on registration. You know, if we have a huge group of registrants in Houston, we might have to add a second day there and not do another one. So these are our potential dates. So go ahead and get those down so you've got them, and think about your coaches and what location would be best for them. And we'll try and get registration up for that fairly quickly. So after the face-to-face training last week, your instructional coaches went home with an assignment. And that assignment was to identify teachers in their program that they wanted to start with. We didn't give them a number. We didn't say 1, we didn't say 5. That's going to be up to you guys at the program level to determine how many teachers you want them to start with. And so we wanted our coaches to meet at least twice, once to kind of give an overview of the standards and to model for your other instructors how to unpack the standards. And then work together to develop a lesson objective and classroom activity, and then so that we're actually going into the classroom and teaching that particular standard. We'll go back. You went too fast. Thank you. So then what we want them to do after they implement the activity and actually try it in the classroom, then we want them to be posting that in the standards rollout community of practice, so that we're starting to gather some activities there in that community that we can just share across programs. So the other piece that we talked about, and we talked about this morning on the director's call, is with this Q2 report, we want programs to be looking at how their instruction and instructional materials are lining up with the new content standards. As what we're teaching, what the courses that we're teaching match with the standards, where are the gaps and how are we going to address gaps. And we're actually working on a template that for you guys to use to tackle that activity. And that is with TWC right now. They're reviewing it, but we'll have some kind of template that you can use, that you can build on to kind of do this gap analysis is really what we're looking at between the instructional materials we have and the content standards, and what do we need to get that we don't already have. So that will be due with the Q2 report, which will be due on January 15th. And the anticipation is that the instructional coaches will be working with leadership at the program level to work on that Q2 report. Those coaches really are, going to be your content standards expert, and will be instrumental in helping complete that template. So that's all I had. Are there questions?
This is a good time to ask questions if you have any questions before we move on to other sections. Okay. Well, let's move on then. Who can talk about this? Is Glenda on the call?
Yep, I'm here. Hi.
Okay. Hi.
So, as you know, we have a limited number of seats essentially in the PD portal, and we're getting close again. If we get bounced emails from them when we send out a blast like we did about the quarterly that went out to everybody's transcript, then we are deactivating those accounts until they contact us. But also, when you have people that you know have left your program, especially if you know that they are not going to another program, you need to let us know so we can disassociate them from your program. And it is helpful. We don't actually deactivate them in that case. We just disassociate them from your program because sometimes they may move to a volunteer program, and the volunteer initiatives also have access to the PD portal. And they could also go to another program. So just as a reminder, periodically when who do we send it? Dale asks, who do we need to send it to? To Peggy Sue. So when you have people leave, then go ahead and send that information to Peggy Sue so she can take care of those seats and open them up for other people.
And Beth, we have a question about the content standards rollout, and it's from Mario Serrano, and I reposted it in the chat pod.
Beth, do you want to answer?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to find the question.
Oh,
Okay, so the question is about how to sign up for the content standards trainings in November.
Yes.
Those will be, the registration will be through the Adult Ed PD portal. So you'll go and register, the coaches will go and register just like for any face-to-face training. But it will only show up on the training calendar for those people that are actually instructional coaches. So they have to have been nominated, and they have to have attended either the first training or the makeup training, and they have to have completed the coach commitment form. So it'll be in the PD portal for coaches. It is not up quite yet. We just got those dates finalized last week, so it's not through the system yet, but I'll send out a notice to everybody when it's ready to go.
Thank you, Beth. Glenda, this is yours too.
One second here.
Yeah.
So everybody's clear about sending your people who leave your program to Peggy Sue so we can get their seats freed up for other people. One thing, I'm the person who works on Saturdays, and I've noticed that some programs have trainings on Saturdays with new people and set them up on PD portal accounts. Whether it's on a Saturday or during the week, if you know you're going to be getting a lot of people, a lot of new teachers, a PD portal account, if you will let us know, we'll make sure that there's someone available to go ahead and approve those accounts as they come in. So that is just a reminder, if you're going to be setting up a lot of new teachers on the PD portal, just let us know so we can make sure to keep an eye out for those approval requests.
Thank you, Glenda. Now, a quick reminder, the PD classifications, that is whether a training is PAL or LIT or TEAMS or other, those classifications now appear on the certificate. So when people complete a training and they print the certificate will say whether that event meets the hours required for PAL or the hours required for LIT. There is a question from Lorraine Romero. No, this is not on Saturdays only. It's every day, but Glenda also works on Saturdays. So, next, announcements. And this is going to be a very quick meeting. First announcement is the goal-driven attunement course is available in the portal. I know because I was in Teams earlier today that a number of people have already taken it, but it is available. Remember, if people have completed the 2017 goal setting course, they don't need the attunement, or they don't need to take it again. Once a year, they need to take an attunement, and it is available now to take through the portal. Another quick announcement: next month, because of the IDEA conference that we earlier spoke about, we will not have our webinar on the second Thursday. We will have to move it to the third Thursday, that is September the 21st. And again, the change only affects the September meeting to avoid conflicting with the IDEA conference. Once again, I would like to emphasize that this is a very good opportunity and apparently very good training for you to send teachers or to participate yourselves in the IDEA conference in Houston. Once again, it is free. So in order to avoid the conflict, we will move our next webinar to September 21st. Are there any other questions?
Federico, it's
Yes.
Anne Marie, and I have one quick announcement for everybody that I'd just like to share. And that is, first of all, I want to thank the PD coordinators for always sending out their Tech Intel announcements to the teachers. I know many of you do this when I send the Tech Intel announcements out. And I just want to remind everybody that tonight and tomorrow there's a special extended Tech Intel webinar, 90 minutes. It starts early. It starts tonight at 7:30 and will go until 9 o'clock. And then tomorrow morning it starts 30 minutes early, and it will start at 11 and go to 12:30. And the topic tonight is the Library and Literacies Toolkit from the Texas Library Archive Association. And our guest speakers, it's quite special tonight because we have Jennifer Peters from TESLAC on, the Texas State Library Commission and Archives. And we also have Christina Mason joining us from Workforce Solutions of Tarrant County. So I sent that out earlier today, but I wanted to remind everyone if you have teachers that would like to join us, because they'll be walking through the toolkit and talking about best practice in the classroom using the toolkit. So I wanted to share that with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. I believe this is the last slide. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in that case, unless we have any other questions, the meeting should be over, but I will take a moment to make a personal announcement. And I want to let all of you PD coordinators in the field know that I have resigned my position, and I will be leaving TCOL at the end of this month. So I will not be joining you for any further webinars. It has been a pleasure working with each one of you in different capacities, and it's my time to move on for personal reasons. So that, well, thank you very much to all of you that I had the opportunity to work with over the last 9 years with TCOL. It has been a great pleasure and a privilege of my career to be part of TCOL, but it's time for me to move on. Thank you. And I think this completes the webinar. It's been a very, very brief webinar, and if you don't have any other questions, we are done. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, we will. We'll go ahead and we'll just keep the webinar room open for just a few minutes in case there's other questions. It looks like somebody was writing a question, but as you can see, many well wishes, Federico. But we'll leave it open for a few minutes.
Thank you.